camera and our voices. That's what's going to be on YouTube by the end of the day.
Okay. And we are streaming, Mary.
Wow. Cool.
So I've got.
Okay.
Awesome possums.
Possums.
Well, I'll just be sitting here and just monitoring the Zoom. You just let me know if you need anything.
So Pam and Anna might be coming on.
Okay, and there's Pam.
Oh,
You just called it.
I just said, "Where's Pam?" There she is. Hi,
Hello,
Pam.
everybody.
Hi, Pam.
Hi there.
How's it going?
How are you? Good, good. Nice snowy day.
Yes. Yeah, perfect day to do this on Zoom, huh?
You know, Zoom really is, I don't know, it's just so convenient.
Well,
Pam, you're not that far from me. And it's not even snowing at all where I am. Oh, maybe it's raining right now.
It just started snowing here.
It just started raining for me, so.
Yeah, no, we have some flakes and just starting
I
to,
want to see the bottom of me.
you can just tell it's snowing.
Right on. Right
Yeah,
on.
thank you.
See?
Because I can't stretch
That's a
anymore.
little
I'm not
I'm a
hilarious.
giraffe.
Hello. Hello.
And we're just getting webcam set up over here.
Great. I apologize, I don't have my camera on. I am in my nightgown and I'm gonna be painting as we do this.
Oh, cool.
You know what? That's a great thing to do on a snowy day, isn't it?
Yeah, are you a painter?
Me?
Yeah, I just started doing watercolors.
Oh, I'm going to start doing charcoals at Christmas time. That's on my list for a Christmas present.
Ooh,
I used
that'll
to
be
do
fun.
black and white drawings, but I want to try charcoal.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
That does sound fun,
Can
Mary.
you see yourself on
I
there?
like your festive sweatshirt, Mary.
Thank you. Yes. Now that it's close to Christmas, I can wear red every single day.
How are you, Robin?
I'm doing very well. And how are
Good.
you?
How are you,
Yeah.
Pam?
Good.
How is I'll talk to you offline, I guess, but I'm glad you're here. Good to hear your voice for sure.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Do you want me to turn off the air conditioning?
Yeah, you can do that, yeah. It's right here, honey. Oh, that's fine. That works too. Okay. Now.
Yeah, isn't it easy, Mary, to stay at home?
Oh, do you know how many hours of time this saves me every week? Lots of
And-
hours. And dragging
For
stuff
yes.
in and putting stuff in, disconnecting all the computers, putting stuff in the bag and rolling everything out to the car, packing it all up, getting it there, unpacking it, then the reverse to come back home.
Does someone have their hand up?
No.
And transportation.
Or that's just a cursor. That's a cursor. Okay.
Yeah.
And folks, I'm
It's no-
Jillian. I'm just here to help out. So
Oh, hi, Julian.
Hi,
I don't see your name on my participants. How come?
well,
Oh,
that's
you're
because
there.
I'm with Mary here
She's
at
helping me.
Christmas Central. So
She's helped me set this all
Hello.
up.
with
Nice.
help of
I'm
Alexa
glad you
as
got-
well. So
Yes.
it's a team effort.
And I guess Maureen is not coming. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, she decided this was too much work for her. She couldn't
Well-
keep up with homework and also do the editing of the new Course in Miracles that'll come out next year. She couldn't do both, so she chose just to stay with the editing the Course in Miracles. And as she does it every week, she's kind of doing it with us, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, she does a great job doing that. And so. And
But
little
you know what
extra- Go ahead.
what I was going to say is the reason, I mean, Zoom is just so convenient for everybody. It's why we really can't increase our in-person at the center, you know, because more people want the convenience of Zoom. And it's just, you can't really compete. It isn't the same, but it's sure convenient.
Well, that's for sure. So, you know, it's the best of all possible worlds right now, it seems to me, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think,
Could you go down and get
you made a good decision
my
to just go on to Zoom.
Kindle? If the battery ran out, and that's the recorded message. See if we can get it up and running, or just bring it up. Okay, so we have a little technical thing that we're working with, but so
That's okay.
yeah,
Just so you know, we can hear you even when you whisper. If you don't, just telling you.
Thank you. That's great. All right, so let's see. Okay, before we get started here, is everyone okay with doing the electronic version that I'm sending? Are you? And then you can print it out if you want to write on it.
That's perfect.
Okay, so if I'll send out a week 5 tomorrow, so that we will have it in plenty of time. Did everyone have time to work on all the material this week?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. Did
Either.
Okay,
I didn't
so
either. So,
you know what?
it's a lot.
Yeah, we'll just go through the answer key. We'll just kind of cheat because of the holidays and everything. There's so much going on. That's why Yeshua and I created the answer key, so we can all cheat if we need to. Okay. All right. Oh, it's up and running. Okay. So I recorded a message early this morning, and I had my Kindle I record on Kindle. I had it all charged up. And then a few minutes, like 10 minutes ago, I went to look at it and it was gone. Somehow the charge didn't take or something. I'm not sure, but anyway. Can you help me find it? It's number 5.
Number 5?
Yeshua message number 5.
Okay. Oh, you want to play it
Okay.
on the green.
So, are we ready to get started? I have the Yeshua message all ready to go. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a couple of minutes and just relax and do some deep breathing, and then I will go into the Yeshua message. So let's just relax and listen to some beautiful music and just breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply. So take a deep breath in through your mouth and then exhale. No, deep breath in through your nose. Inhale and exhale. In and out. Breathe in peace. Breathe out stress, tension, fear. Breathe in love. Let go of anything that is not love. In and out. Breathe in God, Goddess. Breathe out ego. And now we'll hear message number 5 from Yeshua. If we can find the play button, we'll get it.
Good morning. This is Yeshua ben Joseph, also known as Jesus the Christ, Christ Jesus, and by my ascended name, Jesus Sananda or Sananda. And this message is being given through my beautiful, wonderful, amazing daughter, Mary Joya. we are here today on a snowy morning. There is beautiful white fluffy snow all around, and that's why we're doing the class today on Zoom from Mary Joya's great office. The topic today, the discourse today, is on truth. The lessons for this week, the assignment for this week from Mary Joya's study guide is basically centered around chapter 3 of the text, the first part of the chapter 3, and it's dealing with innocence, with the atonement, and with pure truth. So, we want to bid you a wonderful day here in the Denver, Colorado area, where we are having an amazing experience getting ready for the winter solstice. So, December 21st is a magical day that's coming up, and the more love and grace, ease, wonder, and truth that we bring to this experience, which was described last week in great detail, the event scheduled by Spirit for December 21st, the winter solstice this year. What we want to talk about today is truth. What is truth? What is truth? That's a great question. One of those cosmic questions that's been asked over the centuries. It is a very important topic because, as you may or may not have gathered from the previous few discourses, this is number 5, discourse number 5 of the Course in Miracles 1-year study guide class. We have said previously that a universal theology is impossible, but a universal curriculum is not only possible but necessary. If you look at the Christian religion, which Yeshua talks about in chapter 3 and the lessons for this week, if you look at humanity, at Christianity that has like 3,000 different sects, it is definitely an indication that a universal theology is needed, because 3,000 sects of one religion that argue among each other as to who's best, that's not the truth of who and what I am and why I came here and why I brought forth this wonderful Course in Miracles back in the late 60s and mid 70s. So the topic of truth is really important, because once you have truth, then you are on your way to the atonement. So truth, the topic, is actually a universal law. So we have a universal curriculum in the course. We have the universal laws being presented by myself and through sayings of the Bible that I put forth 2,000 years ago. So what is truth? Truth, as I have said before in my book that you have, The Way of Mastery, that is a summary of my teachings, a little bit more modern presentation. But what I have said there is that truth is that which is true always. that which is false is not truth. So we're going to talk about these two concepts, truth and untruth, illusion and miracles, illusion or revelation. So the ego is basically untruth. What we are calling the lower ego is untruth. And spirit, God, Goddess, Christ Sophia is the truth. And as I have said in another book, the Bible, truth is that which sets you free forever. You shall know the truth, and it will set you free. So, what is truth? Truth is that which is true, and the reason why we're presenting this early in these discourses is that we have 52 weeks, and there are over 100, basically 100 universal laws. So we will basically be covering approximately one or two of these each week, so that you have a greater understanding of the comprehensiveness of the atonement realm, the ascension realm, the realm of the ascended masters, where we are all headed, where you are all headed. And so, to get to the atonement, first we have to know what is true, what is correct, what is universal, what is the universal truth. This is a great topic for Mary Joya. She's also known as Dr. Mary Lou Noble, Joyologist. Yay! And this is the Joyful Jesus Quantum Course in Miracles. So we welcome you today on this snowy day, and we are so grateful to be here to share with you this wisdom. Come back to this. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's get back here now. How do you get back here?
Excuse me, Mary. I'm actually cutting out on the recording. Can anybody else hear the recording right now?
No, I can't.
I think it. Oh, was there more?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah. I don't know what happened.
And we
Last thing I heard was Joyful Jesus Quantum Course in Miracles.
Mary Magdalene, the Holy Order of the Rose.
Yeah, that we haven't heard that yet.
We want to bring forth
Yeah, it's
her.
okay. Just start there.
It took several, an hour or two each time.
Are
to
you
do the
hearing it
process,
now?
But brought forth often
Yes.
great miracles and almost instant solutions to problems. So, Dr. Walker was a friend of Ernest Holmes, who brought forth the science of mind, churches and philosophy and the treatment technique. She learned a similar technique she likes better, but that's just her frame of reference. But they both studied, Dr. Walker and Ernest Holmes studied it back in the 1930s with Emma Curtis, who was a teacher of mysticism, and she taught them the 12 steps to higher mysticism. Emma Curtis Hopkins. And they learned these 12 steps, then each went off in their own direction to create their own church or mystery school, whatever. Dr. Walker took a deeper path as a smaller mystery school with fewer students. That's kind of the path that I, Yeshua, have chosen with my disciples back 2,000 years ago. There was the larger circle, the general audience of thousands of people, sometimes hundreds or thousands. Then out of those we chose those who would be the disciples, then out of those even the inner group. And then especially the inner group of women led by Mary Magdalene, the Holy Order of the Rose. So we want to bring forth her beauty and her wisdom because it is appropriate here. And more perhaps in later lessons. But each of the lessons we have presented so far has a topic. So we had a lesson on gnosis, a lesson on revelation, today the lesson on truth. These are all part of the universal curriculum, and they are the universal laws of God, Goddess, all that is. So eons ago, Mother, Father gave us over 100 universal laws. I work with 100 of them. We work with 100 of them. And so the one that is dear to our hearts is truth, which is the topic of much of the lesson today in chapter 3 in the text and some of the lessons. And so let's take a look at truth. All right. Truth is what is called an axiom. So the axiom is truth is that which is true always. So for example, when you take 2 plus 2, it always equals 4, universally, basically. And that is truth. That is a truth principle that is true on Mars as it is here or anywhere else, or in Africa, in Europe, anywhere. So that makes sense. Now let's contrast this with something that is not true. So if you find something that is not true, it is the axiom of 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4. 2 plus 2 equals 1,000. That's what the ego is used to. It believes it is correct, it is right, even though it is universally impossible and not correct. The ego latches onto an illusion and hangs onto it. So when you contrast the two together, so you have a truth, and then you find there is a not truth. And can both of them be true in the same instant? Ever? No, they cannot. So we then are drawn to a conclusion. If something is true, then it cannot be true. Then it is the third part of this process. Then truth is all there can be. Truth is all there is. Anything else is illusion and not true. So this brings us up to innocence. The picture of me and the lamb is something that is very dear to my heart. As I was a carpenter and I had tended the sheep in my day back in the Jerusalem, Bethlehem area where I lived with the Essenes in around the Dead Sea area, where we had the Essene community. So my symbol of me with the lamb is a perfect symbol of truth and innocence and purity. So we want to tell you a little story. Did you know that Mary, when she was a young lady, a young girl, she grew up on a farm. And guess what? She had a little lamb. And also, it followed her to school. Anyway, so we just wanted to make fun of that little story. But she did have a lamb, only she couldn't walk it to school because the school was 5 miles away. It was a country school. But so the innocence is another universal law. And we will be studying these, as I said a bit before, along with the 52 weeks of the study guide, the course of 52 weeks to cover all of the material from the text, the workbook, the manual, and other parts of this amazing Course of Miracles that is my mystery school and is now your mystery school. And as Mary Joy was in her mystery school, she will bring forth a few gems of wisdom here and there, perhaps, because we cannot have too much truth. We can't have too much innocence. So we want to continue with that idea of the universal law of innocence, and along with that is the universal law of reverence. Reverence is something that many humans, especially in our active American society and Western societies that are so driven to make money and work, and forget about the body. Who cares about the body? Just push. What Mary Joy calls the pusher in her little Miracles cartoon book, which we are working on here, playing with, actually. So we entreat you to enjoy this time of innocence, this time of wisdom, of gnosis, of depth, as we dig deeply today and every week, deeply into the Course in Miracles. It's like diving into from a huge diving board, a tallest diving board, and taking that risk of going out to the edge and then jumping or diving into the deep water below. What a feeling of bliss and ecstasy, an amazing feeling to do this. And that's what we're doing for this next year of the Course in Miracles, is to dive deeply into all of these truths, these universal truths, and this wisdom and gnosis, that when you read these truths, when we talk about these truths, you take them, you go down, dive deep inside them, look deeply into them. Buddhism has a saying to look deeply into the matter if you have something to pray about or discern. Correct spiritual discernment is what is important as we go through the Course over the next delicious, amazing year. What a grand adventure in our journey back to God. So we are going to close this morning a little bit shorter lesson than usual, but just to present the idea of the 100 spiritual Mother, Father, God-given universal laws. And when you find basic truths as you are exploring the Course in the next days and weeks ahead, the next year ahead, see if you can find these universal laws, because gnosis is the wisdom coming up from within you. If you read something in the text or you discuss something around this topic, just let yourself feel and deeply immerse yourself in that concept, in those concepts, and in the relationship of these concepts, because this will give you a higher perspective from which to view the Course. Just like if you're up on the high diving board and you are looking down, you get a different perspective. And as Mary Joya many years ago climbed to the top of Mount Elbert, which is the tallest, 14,400 and some 1,000-foot peak in Colorado and got to sign her name in the canister, that she had on this date made this excursion and achieved this goal, this destiny of being on top of the world. It seemed like the top highest mountain peak in Colorado. What a glorious experience to look around and know you're the only person in Colorado that is this altitude. What a glorious feeling. Anyway, that's the kind of thing we want you to resonate with, to seek, to get those epiphanies, to get those, what Dr. Walker used to call metanoias. Metanoia is a new knowing. That is your gnosis, your knowing from within, as we have talked about. That is the gnosis of Guadalupe, especially her wisdom in that book. We recommend just for future further study of the goddess, the Christ Sophia consciousness, and the wisdom that maketh forth.
Oh, maybe that's it. I think it ran out of battery. Well, we were at the end. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And are there any comments before we dive into this wonderful material? Can everybody hear? Are we
Yes.
muted? Oh, okay. Okay. Any comments about the message?
It's interesting about the truth. The 2 + 2 = 4, that is absolute truth. And all there can be is truth, because what's false is false. That's very interesting, because the rest is illusion. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you. All right. Any other comments before we go ahead? Do you all want the sound copy of this recording, or the transcription, or both, or neither? It's okay.
The sound would be nice.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, of all the different formats I could have of that, I think the audio file would be the most enlightening.
And you could always go back to the YouTube recording to hear that, right?
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we will have those. And once the Course says, do not let theology delay you. Well, guess what? I'm also saying, do not let technology delay you. Right? But I think this is very exciting. It's all brand new to me, and I am just so elated to be sharing this all with you on a snowy day. When we finish here, we could just go play. Right? We don't have to get in our cars and drive on icy roads and stuff, except for Jillian.
That's okay.
Thank you, Jillian, for your help today.
Absolutely.
And Alexa, for your help in getting all this set up. All right, let's go forth here. Okay, week number 4 in the text. We have, would somebody please read Miracle Principle number 4 for week 4? You can read it from the answer key. It doesn't matter. Oh, it's not on the answer key.
Miracle Principle number 4 is what we're looking for?
Yes.
I can get pulled up.
I have it here,
So,
but
Yep,
go ahead.
I have it.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know.
Well, that's pretty powerful. Any comments on that? I think that sums up the Course in Miracles. A lot of these statements do. But again, as we talked about last week, the Course is circular. So over 1,300 pages, the material is presented over and over, but in different words, in different ways, and so deliciously that you, by the end of a year, you can't help but get it, get a lot more out of it. But does anyone have an example of how the voice will direct you very specifically? When you've had this happen, you will be told all you need to know. Is there one area of your life where this has happened, so you have an example?
I think so. For me, it's really hard to put into words or to get it
that's
out.
fair.
But how I've been able to see this is, in some cases, I'll be given the theme of a day or of a conversation before the conversation even comes to my awareness. And sometimes it looks like a selection of coffee over tea in the morning will mean
Sure.
when I get to the next conversation, like that's the theme of the conversation, or it's like I feel like I'm seated with what to say, or an idea that's been sticking with me really often is the idea of cue cards, and a cue card is when like on Saturday Night Live, whenever they know what their next line is, ostensibly because they're stage actors, they can just look out towards the audience and there's a person holding a cue card with what to say next.
Sure.
But that's what it feels like
Wow.
whenever I am told very specifically. It's not even really the content of the conversation that matters. It's the just following what the cue card says that matters.
Well, you all know I've worked with this course for lots of years, and there used to be, I suppose this is still possible, I don't know if anyone knows it or not, but the lessons, the 365 lessons, there used to be about a stack about 2 inches high of cards. They were like cue cards, Alexa, and you could take a card with you everywhere, because sometimes you do it 5 times a day. You apply this simple lesson, might be 3 times a day, whatever. So that was. Do you know if those still exist?
I've seen them at the center.
Well, anyway, yeah. What's that?
I've seen them at the center. At
Oh,
the
really?
Rocky Mountain Miracle Center.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, so this one student of mine, she was a very large, wonderful, funny lady, and she used to always stick the card for the day in her bra. So she took it with her wherever she went. Anyway, she didn't forget her lessons, so
You're right.
So those are
keep her
like-
by her heart.
yeah, right. Anyway,
Equals mean life. So
Okay.
something about this, what is it? This miracle principle is striking me as slightly almost discordant. I see where it's coming from, what it's saying, but I just like to bring it up. God is the giver of life. And that sounds different to me than you will be told all you need to know. And I'm wondering if you have the connection there between how is what I need to know being given life, if that makes sense.
okay, yeah, okay. Well, is the ego life or death?
I would say death.
Yeah.
Death.
Belief in separation.
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah. So God is God, Goddess, all that is. Mother, Father, God gives a life and gives truth and all that is related to truth. But when you get into the ego wants you to be miserable and suffer and be stressed out and be angry and pissed off and all that kind of stuff. Sorry about that. I say sometimes, pardon my French, and my husband says, no, that's English. Anyway. So,
Very good.
okay, so when you listen to the voice of life, the voice of truth, the voice for God, as it's talked about in the Course of Miracles, then you will hear what you need to hear, the direction you need to take. I used to have a radio show like lots of years ago, 20 years ago, and it was called Having It All with Dr. Mary Lynn Noble, the Joy Doc. And what I used to say is, if you have trouble making a decision, you you sense it by where there's flow, God, the universe says go, and where there's blocks, God says no. So that's an intuitive kind of way to make decisions that I find works really well. It's really easy. That, like the Course, truth is very simple, but it's our human brains, our human egos, our programming from our schools, churches, news media, everywhere, and relatives of people around us. Everything they say and everything they share with us, we can either take it as something that makes us feel good, something that is truth, or if it's not truth, we let it go. Oh, here's what we talked about last week. Jillian has a technique where we if you observe, remember, everybody throw your hands up in the air, observe, 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 and then bring your hands down. Don't absorb, don't absorb, don't absorb. So we don't want to absorb stuff that makes us not feel good. Okay. Any more questions? Go ahead.
Sorry. I liked your way, Alexa, that you shared with your cue cards and stuff. And for me, I think personally, sometimes when I feel like I'm given the specific guidelines or whatever, it's just like stuff just pops into my mind really quick, or I say something that I'm like, it feels like it wasn't really me that said it, you know? Like I want to say to myself, ooh, good idea.
Yeah. Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. That's it. So basically, miracles, revelation make us feel good, and ego and bad stuff makes us feel bad. So choose this day which one you want to listen to. You want to feel happy, live in a happy dream, as the Course calls it, or not. I prefer the happy dream, because if you follow the voice of truth, as one of the previous week's lessons, it will make you what? Indescribably
Happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
And if you're not, choose again.
Exactly. Hello. Yeah. So my husband teaches martial arts. He's a third degree black belt in Taekwondo, and he teaches mostly kids. And they'll say sometimes, Master Michael, do we have to do this? Do we have to do this drill again and again and again and again? And he says, no, you don't have to. But if you choose to, you will learn this skill and you will become a magnificent warrior. So it's choice. We don't have to do anything, but we choose it. We can either choose ego or God. All right, let's go on to the next question. Let's see. We have in the teacher's manual, let's see, clarification of terms, the ego, the miracle, and so the miracle section, the manual section. All right, so the ego. Does somebody want to read from the study guide, or I can, or did anyone do?
No, I filled it out.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
The ego is defined as nothingness, but in a form that seems like something. That's what I put.
Exactly. Right. So let's look here. I guess we'll read from the study guide and then we can chat about it. It is also described as darkness. Okay, the ego is described in this part of the text, chapter 3, as darkness, evil, a bad dream, and illusion. Furthermore, the ego is that which claims and is indeed hell. I put hell/o. Hello. I have trouble saying the word hell. So hello, and then We put laugh out loud. Okay. All right. Ego is like the dark clouds on a stormy day that may make you think the sun will never ever come out again, or that it does not even exist. If a dark gloomy day causes you to feel depressed, remember that this is merely the ego's choice, just like what we said. Okay. Any other comments there before we go to the next definition?
I'd like to add in some from the text. I have filled out, ego is a dream of what you really are, a thought that you are apart from your creator, and a wish to be what your creator created not.
Good. Thank you. As we go along too, I don't know if I didn't have time this week, but I want to bring in, and Alexa, you're really great at doing this, but today you helped me instead, but I want to bring in some of your text and some of the other text ideas along these lines too, as we go along. But
You got it.
that will be.
I actually did check in the
Did you? I
the
know
Hugh
how
and
you are.
Casey version for the
Yes.
um
Which version, hon?
the Hugh and Casey, the version Robin has actually exactly that, the
Oh,
original
yeah.
edition.
Yes.
And the miracle principle stayed the same between the two, so there's that.
Right. Right. Okay, so let's look at the definition of miracle. What is a miracle? As defined.
I just put change in perception.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a shift in perception, change in perception. Exactly. So if you don't like something you did, you can go back and choose again. And then you can get the miracle. All right. So, did anybody during this past week practice the cancel, cancel, cancel with anything?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yes, I did.
You want to share?
I think
Yeah, tell me about that. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what
Pam,
that
you
is.
weren't here. We're so sorry that you missed the last class, and that's why we're doing this on Zoom. Okay, so can
I'm
you
here
describe
today.
it? The little technique that we did, Robin?
Yes. It can be thoughts that are bugging you, or if you're irritated, or if you're watching news or something. Well, something that's disturbing you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that's disturbing you, and you have to catch it. You have to catch yourself. Like I caught myself several times, and first of all, I told myself to stop it, but then I said, "Oh yeah, cancel, cancel, cancel." So I said that to stop, and also you can say stop, and then say cancel, 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 delete, 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 and so you have to catch yourself. I caught myself in my, pattern, habit. And I says, "Oh yeah, I don't have to do that anymore."
Right.
And it's powerful. It works.
It does
It
work.
works.
Okay, let's do it with the
Yeah.
hand motions, okay? So if you catch yourself starting to get angry or pissed off or whatever, okay, and you just stop, okay? And then you go cancel, cancel, cancel. And then delete, delete, delete. And then erase, erase, erase. And that's called thought stopping. And then also we can put a big red stop sign. Stop. That's
Yeah.
not me anymore. I don't want to make that choice anymore. I don't like how I am
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Robin, for sharing.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. So we can do a lot of those kind of things. Besides, we need to move a lot. We need to move our bodies, move them or you lose them. Use these ideas or you lose them. So they're just kind of fun, and if they're helpful, great. Okay, so let's see more about the definition of miracle. Okay, so in other words, the miracle is light, holiness, gentleness, and a happy dream. That's where we are headed.
One thing I like about the
Yeah, go
miracle,
ahead.
how it describes it is, it corrects the terrible mistake of ego.
Yes.
So it's a correction for our belief in ego.
Right. Yeah.
Or it applies the correction. It has the correction within it. But,
right. Exactly.
Later in this section, it says held. Essentially, it says held side by side. Who would make a different choice than the miracle?
Say that again, please.
Problem and answer lie together.
Right.
If you can hold the idea of what a miracle is and what an ego is, problem and answer lie together, and having met at last, the choice is clear. That's what it says in paragraph 10.
Yeah, perfect. Thank
you.
Who
chooses hell when it is recognized?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see. A miracle is also that which corrects as gently as a loving mother sings her child to rest. Isn't that beautiful? So there's so many on almost every page, but anyway, at various places, there is this incredibly beautiful poetry and analogies that Jesus makes to, and I just think they're really, really precious and wonderful. So this brought up the idea, Pam, I don't know, we just want to make sure you get this idea too if you like it, but we recommend that if you're not feeling well, or you're kind of down and out or depressed or frustrated or angry, that you just stop for a minute and you could put yourself in, and if you need healing, like Robin has found some healing of her leg, right? Through putting yourself in the Jesus nursery. So it's a concept called Jesus' nursery. So you just imagine yourself in a nursery with loving angels, hundreds and hundreds of angels around, and all these beautiful beds and these beautiful beings, and Jesus and angels come and sing to you and rock you and hold you if you want to be held by Jesus or Mother Mary or any of the masters. They're happy to do that, to hold you and embrace you in love and light. Okay. Let's see. All right, see, what is the question? The one question that God's voice asks of everyone.
Are you ready yet to help me save the world?
Good. Can it be any more clear than that? And so what I have in the study guide is, this is your wake-up call. The author of the course here is urging us to awaken from our ego sleep and egotism, our self-centeredness, our narcissism, just by asking this inquiry instead of the ego's senseless psychobabble. I love that word. Psychobabble. The ego comes up with all kinds of psychobabble. You will see a sudden brightness cover up the world the ego made. Thus, your perception of everyone and every single thing will take on a whole new, true vision. This vision will be the truth that the world is actually wholly uncondemned and wholly pure. That is lovely. Okay, so what this indicates is that in time, all beings upon planet Earth herself and planet Earth, our Mother Earth, will be perfect, will be perfected. Yet time does not exist. Therefore, Earth is already perfect. So, This is the beautiful complexity and depth of the Course. This is not a course for those who are timid. This is a course for those who are warriors, truth warriors. Okay, let's see.
So it really does apply.
Go ahead.
It really does apply that you have to be ready. And I often ponder that, it's like, what makes you ready? So at one point in time, all of us here said there must be a better way. But, and I guess in truth, it doesn't matter because we're already there. But it's interesting to me why and how people get to be ready. I'm working with a great nephew of mine who is really, really struggling and, kind of made some bad choices with substances and having a hard time being accepted as a gay.
Wow.
And just suicidal. And I just find myself really thinking about, okay, it feels like this might be his rock bottom, and hopefully he will say there must be a better way. But I just have been thinking about, this is saying we have to be ready. It's like, it's just interesting to me how we all get ready and at seemingly different times, since there is not really time, but it feels like different timing.
Right.
Well, I have an interesting thing that I'm thinking about being ready. Like we say in this instant, the world and everything is already perfect and already pure and already there. It's just there, pure and holy. But somehow I'm thinking that this illusion that the world is not perfect, and I keep holding on to that. So how do I get to the point where I just wake up and say, oh, I guess I was asleep or something. Oh, the world is fine. So how do I shake off this illusion?
I guess practice, and choose again, right?
I think the workbook lessons for this week are very poignant on this point.
I do too. You know what? I would almost like to go back to the lessons and to just read each one. Did we cover wasn't there a workbook section? Let's see.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Alexa.
Alexa, the ones for this class or the one that corresponds to the day of the year?
The ones for this class, lessons 22 through 28.
28.
Right.
Okay. 22 through 28. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I was going to bring up a part in lesson 23 that I feel like matches what Robin was just talking about, or at least like provides a solution. Would you like me to go ahead and say that now?
Yes,
or would you like to...
Yeah, let's go ahead. It's okay.
So what I'm looking at right now in lesson 23 is this idea. You see the world that you have made, but you do not see yourself as image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can't escape its cause. And this is what salvation means. For where is the world you see when its cause is gone? Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images and so transform them that you will love them even though they were made of hate. For you were not making these new images alone. But for me, this really illustrates the cause of the world we see, the negativity that we see in the world, and as the other lessons illuminate, is that we made these images ourselves. We made the images of hate that we see, and we're projecting them out and accusing it of being outside of us. But if we can accept that I'm the image maker, that's a more true example of what we're of how the world can be beautiful underneath what we see as hate. If I accept that I was the image maker the whole time, then I can change the image, because that's where my power is, if that makes sense.
Right. That's why the Choose Once Again is the title of one of the 33 chapters of the Course, because we have to choose once again. How often do we have to choose once again?
Many, 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 many times.
I think just once. I would say once.
Well, yes, but yeah, that's correct. But also, the Course says you have to choose truth every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every month, of every year. So every second. So that's why we are talking about in some of the discourses about self-observing, and we'll talk more about that. If you could observe yourself, you could see where you are in error. So I guess we could talk about that for a minute. So imagine right beside you. So if you're right-handed, right beside you is an exact invisible duplicate of you. It's like your angel self, your centered self, your highest self, right beside you, and it is watching everything you think, say, feel, every action you take, everything you make, you create. It's watching. So, right now, everybody, what's your left foot doing?
Shaking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's moving.
Were
It's
you aware of
moving.
it before I said something?
No.
Exactly,
I
because you
wasn't.
you weren't observing your whole self. So the masters, Yeshua, Mother Mary, all the masters self-observe 24 hours a day. That's why they are who they are. That's where we're headed. So we have a little bit of clearing to do, and a little bit of waking up to do. So this is our wake-up call. And so the observer self can come in and say, wait a minute, is that how you want to feel? Is that how you want to be? Is that your glorious day to day? Does this make you indescribably happy? And if not, cancel, 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 delete, 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 erase, erase, erase. So it's very simple, but we have to work at it. We have to practice exactly like what you said, Alexa. We have to practice, practice, practice. These are spiritual practices that are powerful and profound if we choose to do them. So if you don't feel well, what kind of practice can I put in here? What can I say? What can I do? What can I put in to interrupt this pattern? Okay, let's see. Okay. The certainty of heaven and the surety of peace. Ooh, what's it? Let's see. Travel happy in the certainty of heaven and the surety of peace. So that's where we want to be. Indeed, there are those who already know the truth, which has set them free. All we have to do is to simply change our perception of our world, perception of ourselves, and thus we have saved it and ourselves from that which the ego wishes to see as condemned, awful, and sinful. Oh, yuck. Even those words make you feel terrible, don't they? Like, no, thank you very much. So in other words, the choice is ours every second of every day, hell or heaven. I had a teacher when I was in the mystery school back in the 70s. I had a really some amazing teachers, and one of them used to say, Mary Lynn Noble, you judge too much. And she said, and you have all these preconceptions and misconceptions and so forth. And she said, your assignment is that when you can learn to see beauty, incredible beauty in a garbage can, then you will be healed. So I have practiced that, as I said a couple of weeks ago, driving along a road where there were a lot of homeless people, and I had to really work on my perception of that to see it differently and to be at peace. Okay, so we want to get into the place where we have the happy dream that is our destiny. Okay, let's see. Question D. Here are the sentence completions. Oh, okay. Let's say though, D, are you all on that question D? We could read this together.
Yes.
The miracle forgives. Just, okay. The miracle forgives, the ego damns. Problem and answer lie together here, and having met at last, the choice is crystal clear. Oh, now we get to the workbook lessons. All right. Okay. So, I think I would, I have two favorite lessons here, but does anybody else want to share? Or these are so powerful. Sometimes I'm doing these lessons and I actually weep because they are difficult, especially the first month or so of lessons are the undoing of the ego, and they are challenging. But now, so I'll tell you my two favorite lessons in a little bit. Does anybody else want to share or read another lesson? So, Alexa, you did lesson 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody just please read the title of 22? Lesson 22.
Lesson 22?
Yeah, just read the simple part of the lesson.
Yeah, hold on here.
Sure.
I need to get the page. Lesson 22, what I see is a form of vengeance. You want me to just read the whole thing or what?
No, that's okay. No. Okay. Okay. And then would somebody please read lesson 24, just the title?
I do not perceive my own best interests.
Oh, there was a juicy one. Okay. Yeah, that's a heavy one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a heavy one. Go ahead,
if you
Rhonda.
don't know what your best interest is, it makes you wonder, well, how can I choose anything if I don't know my best interest?
Okay. So I
really had a favorite in this, and it is number 27.
That's mine
and
too.
28. Above all else, I want to see, and above all else, I want to see things differently.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, lesson 27 and 28. Yeah, those were my favorites, because the others are the undoing and the stripping away of the ego, and they're really important and they're necessary. But here is the start of some hope,
Yeah.
So if you can get this far, it's kind of clear sailing from here on out. So I want to see, and I am working on overcoming my eye issues, and so I'm doing these lessons with extra passion because I really do want to see literally and spiritually, figuratively, on all levels. So these are really powerful. Anybody want to read any more of these lessons or comment before we go forward?
Just real quick, I'm going to step away for a quick second. I have to just run to the restroom.
Yeah, sure.
Lesson 27.
Well, you know what? Let's take a couple-minute break, okay?
If I could just real quick finish, I just think lesson 27, I like the word rhymes, or it really ties in really well to what your mystery school teacher brought to your attention. Maybe it's lesson 28. Above all else, I want to see things differently. What does it mean to say I want to see a table differently? And like you said, your old teacher gave you a garbage can as the example. But
Yeah.
what does it mean to see beauty in something odd and mundane and ordinary? What could that possibly mean? I like the tie into that one. And this interesting idea, you see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you're not seeing at all. So there must be a way to see things differently, if that statement is true. So,
Well, maybe see it from God's perspective,
Well, do you remember the wristbands that have been around for a while? What would Jesus do? And so I made up one called "What Would Mary Do?" Mother Mary, or it doesn't matter. But think of your favorite, a higher being. Or what would Jesus do? What would Mary do? Let's see. Oh, and I've been reminded of that a lot of times, especially as much as I love Yeshua, I need the goddess and the female role models as well. And just a different perspective on everything. And that's why Jesus is going to bring in more and more of the divine feminine, just concepts and ideas, because we have to have balance here. We can't get to enlightenment if we're imbalanced, if we have one side of us up here and the other over here in another direction. So
Doesn't that lesson, Alexa, refer to us giving it all the meaning it has? Like, we've defined it as, a hunk of wood that's used to put things on the table. We've given it all the meaning it has.
I think that's a different lesson does clarify that specifically. In fact, it might even be the lesson 24, I don't perceive my own best interests. In that lesson, it details that we've defined the purpose of all things as like how would I as a person use it. We have personal definitions of purpose for all things. And then there's, of course, the I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. And that's just a different lesson.
right.
Yeah, it is a different lesson.
But
Yeah.
they are all interrelated. They're all circular. They're all interconnected. And sometimes one hits us more than another. That's the idea here, that our internal gnosis will bring it up to us. Like, yay, wow,
And
okay.
I have to remind myself with the problem I shared with you about my nephew, and I don't think he'd even mind if I called him by name, but he does not perceive his own best interests.
Yes, right. He does not know how to.
Right.
Right.
And then, hopefully I can help him, not me personally, but asking for help
but in just
Holy
listening to him, he needs someone to listen to him and give him
Yeah.
unconditional love,
And I knew he was struggling, and I hadn't talked to him for a long, long time. And that was an example of being given specific guidance. I actually think it was my niece that's on the other side of the veil that said, you need to call Andre.
Yeah.
And I did, and he was so delighted. And he said, I'm so happy that you called me. I really need to talk to somebody.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that, Pam, because when we were doing classes at the center, I handed out a prayer request form. And so we
Right.
we don't really have that here, but would you mind if we help pray for him, for Andre?
Oh, no. Andre would like that.
Okay. And does anybody
He
else?
also,
Go ahead.
he's trying to recover from breaking away. He was raised very strict Mormon.
Okay.
So he's trying to find his path,
Right.
young and confused. But no, I prayer request, most definitely. Thank you for asking.
Yes. And does anybody need like a minute or two, couple of minute bio break?
Sure, go get a cup
Yeah,
of tea.
I got
Yeah.
to stretch.
Yeah, but let's keep it short, or relatively short.
5 minutes?
It's
3 minutes.
2:15 now.
No, it's 2:15. How about 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
It's
Works
fine.
for me.
Okay.
Quick cup of tea.
Okay.
Tea time.
Great. See,
It's tea time.
And then we can put it on mute if you want, Mary.
Sure.
Oop, I think we can. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, so it's muted?
Yep.
Cool.
Good job.
Yay.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. It's just a technology thing.
Yeah. Well, we got it all.
Yeah, we got it
all
together.
going. The one thing, the mouse wasn't working when we went to share the picture of the Jesus and the Lamb, but I think the Jesuit message just wanted that to be the focus.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah. Or can we do it now? Can we find the picture now, or is it? It's not.
Well,
I don't think it's
that's why
relevant.
when you come back, you're going to be
Yeah.
you'll have
On to
about
other
40
stuff.
minutes left with the
Yeah.
class.
We're okay. It's going fine.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, because we have. How much do we have? We have. It's okay. There's plenty of time.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
So let's keep track of the time. So. Oh, I'm gonna go take a break. Hello.
Oh yeah.
I'm good. You want to use the red room?
I'll use it when you come back, just in case there's people that come back. Okay. While
Okay.
you're gone.
Okay.
So I'm gonna unmute this for you.
Okay.
There we go. And I will be right back, but you should be good to go. Okay.
Cool.
Great. Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm back. Just real quick, thank you, Mary, for having us read this.
Yes.
Lesson 23 is, I should probably say two things. Lesson 23 is one of the most poignant
Yeah.
lessons for me, and that I can
Yes.
always go back to it because it's just the idea of image making. It resounds with me so much, and that's really only found in these early lessons where it is undoing ego.
I know.
But as in terms of, you know how you said you had the friend who would keep the card in her bra?
Oh,
And
right.
and as far as like the lesson that sticks with me, no matter like what day it is or anything, the lesson that I can always come back to remind me that forgiveness is situation is 25. I do not know what anything is for.
Yeah.
And so I can be, it doesn't matter what situation, any grievance that comes up, I do not know what anything is for. And then being allowed to be shown how this is in fact a moment of truth or beauty or forgiveness is applicable, but I do not know what anything is for.
Right.
Is one of my back pockets. Later in the workbook, it talks about your forgiveness, your problem solving repertoire. If I had a problem solving repertoire that was workbook lessons, 25 is in my list of cards that I can just pull out, just as a phrase or just to remind me, because of how true it is.
Right.
I don't know what it's an even number. I think it's a perfect square. I think it just fits. I see the number 25 more often than I recognize. I'm looking at the number 23, but 25 really summarizes quite a bit.
Well, 25 is a number 7 numerologically. And
Okay.
I don't know if this came through on the message from Yeshua, but next year, 2023, will be a 7 year. And it is a year of great blessing, joy, freedom, peace, and all kinds of great stuff as we are clearing out the dark side from the earth. So, I think some of my favorite lessons, I think of the numerology with them as well. But anyway, that's just my thing. But thank you for sharing that, because, yeah, that's, if we don't undo the ego, we can never have full, permanent, 100% mastery and the consequent bliss. So,
I have a question.
Yes,
About lesson 26.
sure.
My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. If my attack thoughts are nothing, how can they attack my invulnerability if they're nothing?
Your invulnerability is what you really are, and you can't attack what you really are.
I know. So why does the lesson say my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability? They can't. They
But
can't.
they can. You
Yeah.
It's keeping you away from what you really are.
It's your belief in those attack thoughts. Paragraph 3 starts with the thought that you must always attack yourself first. Because remember, it's image making. We're just projecting out. So the idea that attack is valuable in any way is your own belief, an initial belief that vulnerability exists, right? The idea that attack is valuable is completely opposed to the belief in invulnerability.
Okay,
and
so
the belief that you
yeah.
can attack, period.
Yeah.
You know,
believing that you can attack and believing in that movie is real. Okay, that
Exactly.
attack is reality.
You lost your face, Robin.
Yeah, I have my book here, and it's hard to do all of this.
Amazon or something. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
Robin, I
ahead.
feel like paragraph 3 in that lesson 26 answers your question, or summarizes an answer to the question, if you could internalize what it's saying.
Yeah,
Can you
will
read
read
it?
that, please? Yeah.
Sure, paragraph 3.
Yes.
So today's idea, my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. The idea for today introduces the thought that you always attack yourself first. If attack thoughts must entail the belief that you are vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. Thus, they have attacked your perception of yourself. And because you believe in them, you can no longer believe in yourself. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is all meaty, important stuff, because it's not something you'll read in the Denver Post or whatever, you know. You won't,
You know,
you
guys,
won't hear
I actually...
on Fox News.
I wonder about that. Like, how much of A Course in Miracles could be quoted in an editorial and be accepted into a newspaper like the Denver Post? I think about that all the time.
I do
Just
too.
maybe, an op-ed.
Is there any way we can slip it
maybe-
in somehow?
Yeah, maybe you should try it, Alexa.
I'm thinking about it. I might as well go ahead and try it. You know what? Maybe we'll do like a mail-in campaign where we all send it in and like, this is important. But I actually might try it because this is revolutionary stuff, and it doesn't
is.
sound anything like what's there.
No.
But what's there probably should sound more like this kind of stuff because
Well, what's there sadly is so 3D that they may not ever be able to get out of their like lower 3D. A lot of the news media is very controlled by the dark side, and when we have the December 21st winter solstice, which I hope you all celebrate with great glee and joy, because those of us who are of the light are going to be lifted up a notch or 2 or 3 in consciousness, and those who are in the dark, what's going to happen to them? They're going to be gone. So if there is any evil left on this planet, it will be gone. Every being has had to make the choice. So that's theoretically what will happen on that day. So go ahead.
I don't think there was anybody going to say anything. But one thing I've noticed about the news media is, I will say more on, I think, 2 occasions in the op-ed, the opinion editorial section, I've seen somebody quote A Course in Miracles so that you just get maybe
Really?
a workbook lesson title. Like they're
Cool.
preaching for peace. A lot of time it's like I believe it's social justice movements that they're like saying we should be more peaceful, we should be more peaceful. And then it ends with like, I could see peace instead of this.
Yeah.
It's really out
Cool.
of context a little bit, but I do
love
think
it.
that you're going to hear in the news media things like Marianne Williamson's version of A Course in Miracles, how it's more political and whatnot. You're not going to catch really the metaphysical stuff, but
Right.
I in my mind, I'm like, it's kind of a fun idea. How much of A Course in Miracles can we sneak in like it was just normal ego thoughts?
I love it.
And Mary, I'm looking forward to the winter solstice thing. It does sound, what's the word? That idea?
It's called
the rapture?
auspicious. It's auspicious. It's an auspicious event. Okay.
Noticeable?
What's that?
Does that mean noticeable? No, it's favorable.
Auspicious means favorable. So
Yeah.
So if you are of the light, this will move you a step or 2 up the ladder of consciousness toward greater light, greater movement toward your ascension, your atonement, greater peace, greater love. And if you are not of the light, then if you are evil, pure evil, Source will take you off this planet and take you back for recycling in the great central sun, our spiritual sun. So there will be a lot of amazing stuff happen, a lot of earth changes, because Mother Earth wants to get rid of the evil fleas that are biting her on her back. She's not happy, and she has been happy for a long, long, long time. But we have enough of humanity. We are at the 50.1% place, the 100th monkey phenomenon. You all know what that is, right? The 100th monkey?
No,
No?
the 100th monkey, I've heard of it.
Okay, well, all we need is 1% of the, well, anyway, the 100th monkey phenomena has to do with if we can get at least 1% of humanity to change, then the whole thing will change. So we are at that critical mass has been passed, and we are at the point now where enough of humanity is positive that we can take a quantum leap forward. And the beings who do not resonate with truth, love, and light will be taken off. They will not exist. They're going to be taken out through earthquakes, whatever, all kinds of means. But they are not going to be allowed to be on this planet any longer. And so it's called an auspicious event, and it will change our lives forever, and the lives and the planet will have more grace and ease once we get rid of the bad fleas on mother's back. Right? So
That doesn't make much sense according to the Course that says we're all one and it only takes one for salvation.
and that's true.
It's
That's true, but it has to be okay. So how many people does it take to save this world?
one.
Exactly. Okay? So we can each be that one in consciousness with the other ones in consciousness of the light, and the evil will not exist anymore because it will not be here.
Because it never existed in the first place.
Exactly.
Right. And one, I mean, it makes no sense that, some people ascend and others, aren't going to live on the planet. I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Sorry.
Okay. So can you have evil and angels coexist in the same room?
No.
No. Okay.
So how are they going to be taken off Earth? They don't exist.
How can they exist on the same planet if they are evil and they're running a Ponzi scheme and they're and they're doing damaging things to the country and to our finances and to people? They're going to suddenly not exist one day. Over a period of several months, this will be happening. Is what the so
that sounds like very illusory to me.
Well,
that feels like feeding the illusion of evil, of what we really are not, and
it's
some
releasing
survive and others don't.
Well, it's releasing the evil into the nothingness from which it came.
Okay, nothing to nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then all that's left is beauty, peace, love, and granola flakes.
I guess, yeah, I'd like to stay with the granola flakes and believe it's not real start with.
That works for
There's
me.
nothing needs to leave.
It works for me, yeah. Yes. Thank you. Well, let's go on here. So we can finish up. Yeah, today, let's see. Finishing in the text, let's see, the innocent perception. Question 4, what is the meaning of section 1, atonement without sacrifice? What's the key point? The crucifixion did not establish the atonement, the resurrection did. So this whole section is a gentle understanding of Christianity and some of the traditional perceptions of Christians need to be more clearly understood. So I had someone was helping me work with the course and do the editing of it. And she said to me one day, she was a profound born-again Christian and all of those beliefs. And she said to me one day, she said, do you know what? She said, your Jesus and my Jesus are not the same. And I had to let her go because there was a mismatch there. That she wanted to keep her beliefs and not be open to A Course in Miracles. And I know, Robin, for example, you are active in a particular church, and it's beautiful for you. And thank you for sharing that novena last week, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that beautiful prayer.
Yeah.
So.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. What the author of the Course intends here in this section is that the truth be known, emphasized, and protected. Okay. So, secondly, Jesus gives us here prime examples in the section of empowering questions to aid in any situation requiring a different perception. The two most primary ones are what and how. So, as a pattern interrupt, as a way of changing your perception of something, the questions what and how are powerful. These are great for building good relationships, careers, businesses, and so forth. But other people ask why, and why, if you ask why, it could lead you in endless circles that go kind of nowhere, basically. Let's see. There can rarely be any appropriate answer to such a question. This usually leads people into the emotionally destructive game of cat chasing and trying to catch the tail of the cat, which really you could never do. Okay, so the ego wants you to seek but never find. Thirdly, a more correct perception of the atonement relates to the innocent lamb. And I had a picture I wanted to show you, but maybe we'll do it next week, or I'll send it with a message. Innocence is wisdom because it is unaware of evil. Hello? And evil does not exist. It is, however, perfectly aware of everything that is true. The atonement is therefore the perfect lesson. I think that's beautiful. Perfect lesson. At one-ment with God and with truth. Okay. This is a demonstration that all the other lessons I taught are true. The understanding is of the innocent truth. That is why their altars are truly radiant. Isn't that beautiful? So do any of you have an altar where you meditate or you pray? Are you actually a physical altar? It's just an idea. But one of my teachers used to say, if you do have an altar, be sure to put holy people's pictures there, but be sure to also put your picture there on the altar. Okay.
There's one interesting thing about altars that I find in Course in Miracles.
Sure.
It's more so in the Urtext and in the original edition than in this version.
Okay.
But it's this definition of altar. Altar is a belief. And so when we say the altar of God, you're looking at what is my belief in God? What is the consistency of that? Much like your student that you were working with. He said, my Jesus is different from your Jesus. Well, it's really my belief in Jesus. What this symbol means to me is different from your belief in Jesus and what that symbol means to you. So whenever it comes to altars, I personally don't build an altar. Maybe my work desk is as much of an altar as because I'm physically here staring at this setup more often than anything else in the world. But because I travel so much, I try to keep it in my mind that an altar is a belief. And so whenever I want to go worship at an altar, I might find myself meditating on and asking for correction of generally like help my perception of this belief be as true as possible. Often it's like a belief in God. So that's what I call my altar to God, is
cool.
My definition or my belief in God.
Beautiful. Yeah, there can the best altar is the inner altar, which is in your heart. At least as I work.
Doesn't it say somewhere that we are God's altar? Something like that.
Could be, yeah. I couldn't tell you where, but but yeah, exactly. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to question 5 so we can get finished here. We'll just kind of go Quickly through these. In section 4, Error and the Ego, paragraph 7 is all about the vital concept of the chosen ones, which many of religions have greatly misconstrued. Here is the relevant part of the course, so perfectly written that this needs to be fill in the blank section. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I'm going to read this to you. While re-editing this material, originally written in 1993 on January 29th of 2007, when I was re-editing it, at 5 a.m., I was awakened by Jeshua. I had been dreaming of a wedding, of a marriage feast, and it was involving me and some unknown man who mysteriously never appeared. As I awakened, quotes, from this holy dream, the author of the course inspired me to look at my one and only copy of the Bible, given to me by a husband in 1975, the same year I started my journey on the mystical path in my other mystery school. Although I am far from being a biblical scholar, I was guided to look at the book of Matthew. Interestingly, also to note is that this, my only copy of the Bible, has the text in red where Jesus is telling the parables. At any rate, chapter 22 of the book of Matthew is entitled Parable of the Marriage Feast. And anyway, so the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son. At the wedding hall, as it was filled with all the dinner guests, but when the king came in to look over at the dinner guests, he saw there a man not dressed in wedding clothes, and he said to him, "Friend, how did you come to be here without wedding clothes?" And the man was speechless. Then the king said to the servants, "Bind him and cast him into the outer darkness. For many are called, but few are chosen. And those who are chosen are ones who choose." So choose once again. All right. So, section 7. Would somebody please read the fill in the blanks? Yeah, Robin?
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
I was a man who remembered spirit and its knowledge. As a man, I did not attempt to counteract error with the knowledge, but to counteract error from the bottom up. I demonstrated both the powerlessness of the body and the power of the mind. By uniting my will with that of my Creator, I naturally remembered spirit and its knowledge. Sane perception induces sane choosing. I cannot choose for you, but I can help you make your own right choice. Many are called, but few are chosen. Should be, all are called, but few choose to listen. Therefore, they do not choose right. The chosen ones are merely who choose right sooner. Right minds can do this now, and they will find rest unto their souls. God knows you only in peace and this is your reality.
Oh, that couldn't be more profound, huh?
Mhm.
Any comments? So this is an answer to your what you were talking about earlier, Robin, about choosing once again.
Mhm.
Yeah. Choose to listen. Few choose to listen. So, all right. So chapter 3 deals entirely with perception. From the perspective of the author, it behooves us to simply, consciously choose to unite our mind with the Creator's mind. Then we'll be one with our true self, which is spirit, infinite wisdom, and knowledge. Just as with anything in life, we all have to do to make a decision, make a choice, that to let go and let God. Now, I was a member of the 12-step programs for quite a few years, and one of the things I got out of the 12-step programs is that, and more shall be revealed to you. So I love that, because if I know more shall be revealed to me, it will. And it's enlightening and a happy place to be. Okay. So I have here, let's see, a 3-step process. First, be the kind of person that your mentor, teacher, spiritual guides, your role models, angels, first be that kind of person. The first, how you do it is observe what they do and how they do it. Then second, perform all the correct actions. And 3, finally, you will have the kind of results that you truly want. Okay.
Mary, this 3-step process reminds me of the process in the workbook lesson 23.
Perfect.
And they go first, and this is today's introduces that you are not trapped in the world you see because the cause can be changed. Now, to actually see this change, it says that first, the cause must be identified, 1. Then 2, the cause must be let go. And then 3, it can be replaced. The first 2 steps require cooperation. The final one does not. And how this actually aligns for me in this is that B, first you have to, it says be the kind of person you want, but I think for me that's recognize. It's kind of passive. Recognize what the cause is. Secondly, actually perform the action of releasing previous perceptions in the case of lesson 23. And then finally, you will have the results you want, which is being given the truth.
Yeah. Bingo. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the lessons are so, what's so unique about this Course in Miracles is that you have the practical lessons that you have to grapple with and struggle with and work with and apply, and they're challenging. And then you have the teacher's manual that gives you perspective of the terms and a lot of the truth principles, and the text that has all the theory and application. And I think it's such a perfect way to do this, to bring them all together as has happened in this study guide, so that you really get the best of all possible worlds, all possible truth. Let's see. Let's go to question 6. In section 5, Beyond Perception. A, how is prayer defined? It's paragraphs 6 through 10. Any comments on that, or we could read it? I think time?
I think I'd like to read it.
Yes, I do too,
Would like to
please.
read it out
Yeah,
loud.
thanks, Alexa. Yeah.
Oh, you want me to? I'll actually take it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Section,
Um,
paragraph 6 through
6 through 10, yeah.
Section 5. Okay. Starting here. Ooh, it's fairly long. It's 5 paragraphs. You want me to read
Let's
all of
just
it?
do a couple. Just do the first paragraph.
You got it.
Or the last
Prayer
one.
is a-
Either one.
I think this first one
Yeah.
answers the question, what is prayer? So
Yes.
prayer is a way of asking for something. It is the medium of miracles. But the only meaningful prayer is for forgiveness, because those who have been forgiven have everything. Once forgiveness has been accepted, prayer in the usual sense becomes utterly meaningless. The prayer for forgiveness is nothing more than a request that you may be able to recognize what you already have. In electing perception instead of knowledge, you place yourself in a position where you could resemble your Father only by perceiving miraculously. You have lost the knowledge of what you are. You've lost the knowledge that you are yourself a miracle of God. Creation is your source and only real function.
Amen and amen.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So,
In terms of perception, I think it kind of just nails perception on the head right here.
I think
In
so.
electing perception instead of knowledge, you place yourself in a position where you can only resemble your Father, yourself as you were created, by perceiving miraculously. That's the only way that you're going to get out of it, is by miraculous perception.
Exactly. Yeah. Miraculous perception is true perception, which
True
leads you up the scale. We've talked about this before. So at the bottom is false perception, incorrect perception. So that's where we catch ourselves maybe getting angry or something, or depressed. And then we move up the ladder into what is the true perception. And if we can find the true perception, it will lead us to truth. And then we'll be free. But forgiveness is a key point in here. Forgiveness, and the only meaningful prayer is the prayer for forgiveness. That's pretty powerful. Those who have been forgiven have everything. Okay, next question B. What is communion? Question B.
So I'm looking at where it says communion is the natural state of those who know.
Right.
Not prayer is the intermediate, and that's from paragraph 10, which is where prayer comes from.
Yeah, page 46. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. In most of the texts. Robbins has the other texts. We don't have the pages on those. Okay. In other words, in the one light of the Creator, you exist in the beauty of absolute clarity, total worth, God, what I call God esteem. This is God esteem. And it is a state in which miracles are a complete way of life. I think that's glorious. I love that. That's how I live my life, is 90% of the time. I'm working on my 10% though. Oh boy. All right. It's section 3, perception versus knowledge. Here are some of the sentence completions. This is a short one. Okay. So, questioning illusions is the first step in undoing them. The miracle or the right answer corrects them. That's on page 40. Okay.
This is a very good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I would say this is a really good chapter. Like even that
I know.
two sentences there.
Yeah. Yeah. Question B, what is the real meaning of these biblical phrases? Oh, Alpha and Omega, yeah. The beginning and the end. And before Abraham was, I am. Oh, those are juicy. Okay. Okay, so I'll just read this to finish out. Okay, the real meaning of these biblical references is that knowledge preceded both perception and time and will ultimately replace them. So I'll read that again. Knowledge preceded both perception and time and will ultimately replace them. Knowledge belongs to the Great Spirit. This is my kind of Native American shaman influence. Knowledge transcends even true perception, since it is the result of revelation and induces thought. However, any form of perception still involves the body, as well as the perception that time exists in the infinity of the pure beingness of truth. All that can exist is the present moment of thought. Time does not exist. Human bodies do not exist per se as entities separate from beingness, which is our goodness, godness, goddessness. This is a rather challenging concept, which is why it will be brought up again countless times as we go through this material. After all, since we have all been born into the world of duality, it may take a little bit of time to come into unity consciousness. Okay. Let's see. Question 8, Section 6, Judgment and the Authority Problem. How does the last statement describe our true identity? Anybody want to take a crack at that one? Okay. If your mind is divided between ego and the Holy Spirit, you will indeed have an authority problem. However, when you acknowledge and accept that your true author, source, and inheritance is God, then you are free from judgment, at peace as a result of knowing and being your true identity. So, your true identity comes from God, from source. Ego thinks it's the authority, but it is not. Especially when we release it with love. Okay, question 9 in section 7, creating versus the self-image. Okay, here's another, okay, and I'll just read this to finish up. Nothing made by a child of God is without power. Nothing made by a child of God is without power. It is essential to realize this, because otherwise you will be unable to escape from the prison you have made. That's on page 49. The mind can make the belief in separation very real and very fearful. And this belief is the devil. It's on page 50. Look at your life and see what the devil has made, but realize that this making will surely dissolve in the light of truth, because its foundation is a lie. Your kingdom is not of this world, because it was given to you from beyond this world. Amen and a women. Any questions? And we're just about done here.
So the devil is man-made. The devil is man-made. It's made from the ego.
Exactly.
The devil made the ego.
Yeah. And no thank you. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's close with a little bit of short meditation, breathing couple minutes. And let this all soak in. Let it be a sweet part of your life through the rest of the day. And so again, breathing in. Just a couple of 3 minutes. Breathing in all the truth and beauty and love of this lesson, this class today. Breathe in good. Let go of ego. Let go of judgment. Let go of the authority that's not correct. Breathe in the true authority, the truth of who and what I am. I'm a glorious being of light and love. I breathe that in. And I let go of that which is not love and light and peace. Breathe in gratitude. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, all that is good. Thank you, everyone, for being here today and participating in this amazing experience. We love you very greatly. Let go, let God, let the Goddess. And so we conclude this class today, week number 4, and we invite you to have a fabulous evening of peace and joy. And a great next week until we come together again next Tuesday from 1 to 3. God bless. Goddess bless you. Let it be, and so it is. Amen and amen. Goodbye.
And so it is. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
You so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed, beauteous week. Until we meet again.
Yes.
Okay.
See you next Tuesday. Same time, same station.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you,
Bye,
Julian.
everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jillian,
good
for
to
your
see
help.
all
Thank you,
you.
Alexa, for all of your help.
Bye, Robin.
Bye. Bye.
All right. Have a good week.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Alexa, I may call you if I run into a snafu with getting the screens back.
We can set that up right now. Pam and I think we're gonna sit in the room a little longer.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Love you
So-
guys. See you next week.
Yes.
Love you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Stay 90% Mary.
I got her. I got
Thank
her.
you.
No, she's got her. She's got her.
Right on.
I want to hear you increase it. Next Tuesday, say that you're 92%.
There you go. I'm working on it.
Mhm.
You'll know when I get to 100%. Believe
Well,
me.
you and me both, but the problem is I'm only at about 19%.
Oh, honey, I've been doing this for many, many eons. I hope someday I can get it right.
you and me both. I think we're the same age, Mary.
I think so. Well, we're working on it together because we have unity consciousness, and
We do indeed.
as one of us grows, we all grow. We are all one. So
Exactly.
that's the power and the beauty of this class. So be it.
It's wonderful.
Love you
Yeah.
guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
All
You
right.
too.
And this week I'm going to
You
do
too.
my homework. I promise. I'm not going to borrow all from the answer key.
Huh.
Oh, it's such a wonderful review. The workbook is just brilliant, Mary.
Yeah,
It really
thank
is.
you. Thank you. So tomorrow I'll be sending you week 5, and we'll go
Great.
forward with joy
Okay.
and love and peace and all that great stuff.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
I think.
So now-
Julian, what are you working on right now? Trying to get.
yeah, I think I've got her. I just went from extend to duplicate,
Okay.
and now it looks like, yeah, we've got dupe again. Okay, that's easy
Okay.
enough to do. So next week, next week, that's just, what did we figure that out
Oh,
to
there's the
be?
picture.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, there it is right there. But we had your screen.
Oh.
We got to figure out how
That's
that's
okay.
gonna
We'll.
swing.
Were you able to stop the stream?
Oh, OBS stop
OBS?
stream.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. That was the one piece. Yeah. Stop streaming.